Good morning. Hi, Mona. Happy Thursday. Donna, hello. Carolyn, Sharon, Stevie, Susan, Arizona. Oh, wow. Not so bad here. Still overcast. Carol, good morning. Hi, ladies. Anything in particular that you'd like to work on or focus on? Or anything, even if you're not even like thinking about what in particular you want to do, is there something that's going on that you wanted to discuss? All right. So last week, my Thursday class, I wasn't able to complete it. So hopefully there's no issues. Okay, breath. Wow, that's great. I love that you said that, Susan. Yeah, breath. Really important, right? Last week we weren't able to complete, and I think that I've had a lot, I'm assuming it's going on here, but I've had a lot better internet success this last week. So hopefully the connection will be still great and available to us. So anyone else? Breath is great though, Susan. When you say breath, do you mean to control the mind, or do you want a breath technique to do that you could implement or add to your treasure chest of tools? So I'd love to know that, because that's kind of the thing, right? So we either can follow certain techniques for breath, or we could just focus on our breath, connect to our breath to control the mind. Ooh, gosh, don't we all need that? Yeah, that's so interesting you say that. Definitely where I've been in my life lately. Totally. Been very introspective recently, trying to pay attention and notice what's going on in my mind, what's going on around me, with the people around me, life around me. And, we're participants in this life, right? We have people in our lives, then we have ourselves. And the mind is just so powerful and can be so amazing. And I guess that's really the way to think of it, is that when it is focused, when you do have a focused mind, there's a lot of power behind it. And so it could be power that's used positively and power that's used negatively. And the negative power for our mind, especially if we go into the negative mind, the what ifs and oh my gosh and da 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 da. And so there could be that part, but then there's this other side that can be really positive, and we can have this control. And so in one way, a couple of examples of that would be horses that are racing. They put blinders on them because they don't want them to be distracted by the horses next to them. Even though they could feel it, they're taking that visual field and pointing it straight ahead, so that is what the sights are set on for that horse when it has that task. And a 100-watt light bulb will light up a room, right? It's diffused 100 watts of light, and it will fill up the room. And if you take that same 100 watts and you focus it into a very narrow beam of light, it becomes a laser that can cut through things. So it is that focused mind, and that's why we practice breath work, which helps to connect the mind and body and brings us to the place of the word meditation. That, I always think that that's a challenging word for people to understand. Meditation is when we are actually not in a place of thought, so either the space between the thoughts, or we become one with whatever it is we're meditating on, whether that's closed eyes and meditating to our essence, or in the moment meditating with a object. So there's many different forms of meditation. It's when your blinders are on and really on. It's when you're super focused. So it could be focused on something, or even focused on nothing, but really focused on nothing, where you become the nothing. You become whatever it is, consciousness, spirit, soul, whatever you want to call that. So learning how to manage your mind, especially when you are not in the place of thoughts, is really important. And the more you practice this on the mat, then you have those tools and skills to take off the mat. And that's going to be really important for bone health, because it's going to stop the background breakdown of bone. That's one thing, the psychological stress. But it's also going to bring in this other part of you that makes you take care of you, that makes you do something every day to push and pull on your bones, to strengthen your joints, your muscles, your bones. And so that, that focused mind is going to be for the positive, and it's going to be to get away from the negative. And breath work can help us, and practicing breath can help us. So I'd like to do one right now that actually Dr. Weil, Andrew Weil, if any of you have heard of him, he is the person, maybe this is where I first heard this, and I think he said he learned this in India, and there were some things he was vague about. He has you place your tongue somewhere, but he said he wasn't sure. I learned it from him maybe in the 2013 or something. He wasn't sure the why behind that part. But what he did say is that this has been studied, that this breath that I share with you now, the 4-7-8 relaxing breath, actually stimulates parasympathetic nervous system. And that is where we heal and repair and restore and build more bones, is in that zone. That's where your body can remodel and build bones. So let's practice the 4-7-8 relaxing breath as a technique for you to have. It's short and sweet. When you first start it, Dr. Weil said for the first month, try this with just 4 rounds. And then as you develop and you get more comfortable with it, your body gets more comfortable with what you're doing, then you could go on to 8 rounds. Or then you could do it twice a day, 4-4. So when I say comfortable with it, there's a retention of the breath. We hold the breath for a count of 7. And so that could actually stimulate a fear response in the body, which would be the stimulation of the sympathetic branch. We do not want that. We want this to be all calm, relaxing, and stimulating parasympathetic nervous system, which is the part of you that digests food, rests, repairs, and rebuilds. So it's called 4-7-8 because the inhale is for 4, the hold or the retention of the breath is for 7, and the exhale is a count of 8. We'll do this for 4 rounds. I will guide you through this and then take this off the mat to practice on your own. The placement of the tongue is where the roof of the mouth and the teeth meet. So if you place your tongue where the roof of the mouth and the teeth meet, the mouth is closed for the inhale. The mouth is closed for the retention. And on the exhale, you could open your lips a little and let the breath as it comes out of your mouth go around your tongue that's placed by the roof of the mouth and the top teeth. And there'll be an audible, gentle sound that you may hear when you do this. 4-7-8, relaxing breath. So get yourself into a comfortable seated position. For me, comfortably seated is a supported hero, where I take the block and I put the block in between my ankles and I allow my body to sit here. And this gives me a beautiful upright presentation in my body. See if that is appropriate for you. Find this erect spine, or come into an easy seated position, or even get into a chair if that's more comfortable for you. No distractions of the physical body. So come into a position where you're not distracted by discomfort in your body. And then bring yourself into a position, close your eyes, let your elbows be underneath your shoulders. You could have one palm inside of the other, or palms down on the thighs. If you do have one palm inside of the other, let the thumbs touch. This creates a circular pattern. This creates a continuity of energetic flow in the physical body, in the energetic body, and in the mind. So true connection of mind and body. Let your tongue rest where the roof of the mouth and the top teeth meet. And then close your eyes. Find spinal alignment in your body. Visualizing 26 teacups and saucers. Saucer, teacup, saucer, teacup, saucer, teacup. Aligned. Nice long neck. I'll guide you through 4 rounds of this breath. Let's take an exhale to begin. Let's begin. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Part your lips. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last one. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Keep your mouth closed, keep your eyes closed. Bring your awareness to the space between the eyebrows, in the center of your head. Let all your awareness go to that point. As you inhale and exhale, as if you could see the very center of your head, upper head, between the eyebrows. Bring your awareness to your bones, to your skeleton. Bones of the feet, the right, the left. Ankle joint, the 2 lower leg bones on either side. Your kneecap, upper thigh bones, largest bone in the body, your femur, your hip joint, your pelvis, your spine. Find that nice alignment. The left arm, upper arm bone, lower bones, bones of the hand, the right arm, upper arm bone, 2 in the lower arm, wrist bones, hand bones. Bring your awareness up to your skull. Your rib cage, your foundation, your structure, your strength. As if you could see your whole skeleton without all the other tissues. Strong, dense, bring your awareness to your heart. Notice if you feel your heart beating. always beating. It knows what to do. Take a couple of deep, slow breaths to your heart. Bring your awareness to your fingers. Start to wiggle your fingers. Bring your hands together. Let your thumbs touch your sternum bone. Press your heart to your hands to your heart. Long spine. And set an intention for yourself today. For the practice, for the rest of the day. That you're going to focus today on bone building habits. Whether that's physically pulling and pushing on them, whether that's taking breaks throughout the day to put your blinders on, or whether that's choosing bone building nutrients to feed your beautiful bones. Take one more breath. Allow your eyes to blink themselves open. And let your hands come down. Noticing how you feel, the weight of the eyelids, the feeling of you at this point. Putting our blinders on, really important. Coming to the present moment, really important. The breath is one of the ways to do that. And then that somatic awareness of your body is another. So add those to your treasure chest of bone healthy habits. All right, let's get up. Come on to your blanket. Take your legs back and unbend your legs. Stretch. And then bring yourself all the way up here. Take your hands, shake your hands. So let's begin up in the mind today. Let's begin in this top part of our body and work to strengthen the part of us that helps to support our head, hold our head on top of our body. So have your blanket on the lower third of your mat. So move the blanket to the lower third of the mat. You're going to bring your knees back to the back edge of your mat. Bring your hands forward. Take your toenails, let your toenails touch the ground. Keep your elbows in at your body. Now notice where your pelvis is. So if you try to lower down with your pelvis there and the only thing you do is bend your arms, you're going to have a very hard time getting down onto the ground. But if you let your pelvis move forward and closer to the ground, let it be the pelvis that's leading the way. Then you slowly start to bend your arms, keep them in alongside your body. It's a lot of work to manage this with control all the way down. And for some of you, you may actually plop. That's okay. Bring your pelvis back onto the blanket. Take the elbows underneath the shoulders. So if they're wider than your shoulders, walk them closer. That's going to help to support the weight of your upper body away from the ground. Spread your fingers. Push your hands into the ground. Push your forearms into the ground. If your back is not happy here, you could take your legs a little wider. So there's a little extra tension in the low back here, which actually could create some bone building. So if it's not too intense, be okay with that extra pressure in the lower lumbar. And then press the pubic bone, which is the base of your pelvis. So imagine your tailbone is pointing down right between your two legs, and you're pushing it down. So you're getting a little posterior tilt in your pelvis. Push your hands into the floor. Push your entire rib cage forward. So pull your rib cage away from your pelvis, and then push away from the ground with your hands. This is called Sphinx. And you may feel a stretch underneath the ribs or from the ribs to the hip bone. Breathe down to your belly, warming up your insides with breath, warming yourself up from the inside out. Take an exhale. As you inhale, look over one shoulder towards your foot, towards your pinky toe. Go slow. And then inhale back, or exhale back to center. Inhale, look over the other side. Exhale back to center. Close your eyes. Feel what's stretching in your body. Inhale to look over. Exhale back. Inhale to look over. Exhale back. One more each side. Pushing away from the ground, not collapsing. Stretching the core, the trunk support muscles. Bring yourself back to center. Push away from the ground. Push your heart forward. Take one more breath. And then with lengthen your trunk as you come down. Fold your hands one on top of the other. Elbows are straight out towards the side. Let your forehead rest on the back of your hands. And then bend your legs. Soles of the feet are up towards the sky. Slowly let the legs go side to side here. And bring your feet, big toes touch, soles of the feet are pointing up towards the sky. Push the pubis bone into the ground. Exhale and inhale. Push your hands into the ground. Lift yourself away from the ground with the nape of the neck. So the upper back where the neck starts, let that be what rises up towards the sky the most. You exhale to lower, you inhale to rise. Warming up your muscles of posture, alignment, help with balance, fall prevention, helps to minimize wedge fractures, helping to hold you upright and aligned. Bring yourself down, put your forehead on the ground, let your hands go alongside the body. The elbows are right at coming off the shoulders. The palms are spread, the thumbs touch your mat, and all the other fingers are off the mat. Begin with your forehead touching. Exhale. Inhale. Press your hands into the ground. Lift up away from the ground. Let it be the nape of the neck. So don't just let the head move by itself. The head and the upper torso move as one unit. You inhale to rise. You exhale to lower. Inhale to rise. Close your eyes. Feel the muscles of the back at work. One more. And then bring yourself down. Take your left hand, fold your left hand, put your head on the back of your left hand. Take your right hand long. Exhale. Inhale, try to lift the right arm off the ground. Exhale to lower. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. One more. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Inhale, left leg lifts. Inhale to lower. Exhale to lower. Inhale to lift. Exhale, lower.
Inhale, exhale. The right hand and the left leg lift on your inhale. Exhale to lower. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Last one, inhale to lift and hold. On your next exhale, lower. Switch hands. The right hand comes under your head. Left arm goes straight. Exhale. Inhale, lift the left arm. Exhale to lower. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Right leg, inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Left hand, right leg. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Inhale and hold. On your next exhale, lower. Take both hands, fold them, let your forehead rest. Take your legs wide, bend the knees, and let the legs go side to side. Take your legs long. We're going to come into locust posture. You could do this a couple of ways. You could have your hands down alongside your body. When you come up, you could lift your limbs straight away. Or you could clasp your hands and lift, making sure that the hands come away from the body. They're not resting on the body. Or you could have your hands on the ground and lift if you need to be a little bit more gentle with yourself. So choose what you would like. We're going to strengthen the whole posterior chain. Begin with the toes together, soles of the feet up towards the sky, forehead on the ground. Arms are either alongside you or clasped, sliding the shoulder blades towards each other. Exhale. Inhale to rise. Reach long and up. Feel that strength. Press the back vertebra into itself, creating bone building stimulation in the spine. Really push the back of the spine into itself. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself all the way down. Take your hands, fold your hands. Legs are wide, bend your knees, let your legs go side to side. Breathe down to your belly. Let your legs rest. Couple of breaths down to your belly. Let your heart rate slow down. Take your hand up. One hand, doesn't matter whichever one, roll onto that side and come onto the side. Take your hand on the ground. You're going to push away from the ground to bring yourself up. And we're going to come on to another posterior chain movement. So bring yourself so that your tushy is on the blanket. The hand position, ideally, fingers are facing towards you. Whatever you do, let your shoulder blades slide towards each other to protect the lift of your body and to not let any collapse take place. So if you need your hands to be in a different position, don't be too wide here. We're going to come into a reverse plank or a tabletop position, holding this for 30 seconds. If you can, spread your fingers, toes are pointing forward. Let your shoulder blades come towards the spine to help you here. Take an exhale. As you inhale, lift your pelvis away from the ground, pushing your hands into the ground. Shoulder blades are pressing into the rib cage to help lift the chest up. Keep your head active. Don't let your head hang back here. Lift the pelvis up. If you can get to a tabletop position, try that, or come as close as you can get to that. Press your fingertips into the ground. Big stretch for the shoulders here. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself down. Bring yourself either into an easy seated position or you can come into a wide leg straddle to help to support your torso over your pelvis. Get a couple of breaths down to your pelvis here. That definitely uses a lot of muscles, so there's a potential for your heart rate to accelerate. Let's come into the next posture. Let's do a bridge. I'd like to use a bridge today where we actually have the blanket supporting the rib cage. So this is going to support the rib cage and the head is going to go off the blanket. So if you have a lot of roundness in your spine, having a pretty good amount of support here will be beneficial for you. When you do come up into a bridge, it's a back bend. It's not a straight down posture. You don't have your pelvis and your head in relationship in a straight line. You're trying to get a bend into your spine, especially the thoracic spine where the ribs are attached. So we really want this here. We really want to open up the front of our spine when we come into the bridge, stretching the front of the vertebra, lifting each one off of itself and pressing the back of the spine into itself to create bone building stimulation. Using the feet and the arms, whether the arms are bent alongside your body like this or straight down alongside your body, using the arms to push into the ground to lift your rib cage up and to really bend, to get a back bend in this part here, the thoracic spine. So take your blanket up to the top of your mat, leave a little space there for your head, and then you're going to come to sit where the tushy is at the edge of the blanket. Bring yourself to your side, keeping the front of your spine open, reaching away to come down onto your blanket. And the blanket is behind your chest. Let your pelvis be on the ground. So move in a way that you get your pelvis on the ground. You could grab your block if you'd like, reaching to the side, getting the block, bringing the block between your knees. Slide side to side so that you could slide the shoulder blades closer to the spine. So go side to side and tuck the outside edges of the arms towards the center so that you're supported here. Lift your head up, lengthen the back of your neck. Walk your feet to their block distance and walk your feet closer to your body. Begin by posteriorly tilting your pelvis. Press your belly button towards your spine. Squeeze your block, push your feet into the floor. Exhale, and then inhale. Peel yourself up, close your eyes. Peel yourself up away from the ground, pushing your feet into the ground and your arms. Feel your rib cage lift off the ground and really try to bend the rib cage here, pressing the heart towards the nose and towards the sky. Use the shoulder blades in the back of your body to press your rib cage up. Open the front of your spine, lengthen your knees away, squeeze your block, squeeze your tushy. Push away really strongly with your limbs. Last breath, squeeze the block, push away from the ground strongly, open the front of your spine, lengthen your knees away. And on your next exhale, bring yourself slowly, one vertebra at a time down. Lift your heels up, tilt your pelvis backwards, try to touch the low back to the ground before the pelvis touches. Take the block either to the side, or if you're feeling a lot of tension in your neck here, you could put the block underneath your head. So whatever your body needs. Couple of breaths here. Let the knees fall in towards each other. Catch your breath. Take one more breath. Bring yourself onto your side. Take your hand on the ground and push yourself up and away.
So those three postures that we just did were for the posterior chain, for the part of you that's going to keep your spine in good alignment, keep the posture in your upper body, which will help with that rounded forward position. That's going to help with alignment to keep the minerals in the bones so that we don't need them to lay down more bone tissue, for posture, which is going to help with fall prevention. And so those three really intense, the reverse plank or the tabletop, the locust posture, and bridge. And they use a lot of muscles. So you may have noticed that you had an accelerated heart rate. Those are definitely three muscularly demanding and challenging postures. And in two of those, we were in a back bend and we were pushing the spine into itself. So that was for spinal health and for posture and for alignment. So those are three great postures for bone health. Let's come down onto the ground. Now we're going to actually pull on the bones. We're going to use the strap. We're going to do big toe pose 1, big toe pose 2, and then we'll do a rotational twist that has a little bit of a pulling action here at the lower ribs, and it's very strong core. So we'll do that first so we make sure we have our core activated. Core meaning this part of your body. We're going to be in a rotation, so we want to make sure that we keep our rib cage on the ground, using our arm at the side to help us. I'll explain the rest when we come down onto the ground. That one is quite a challenging. A belly twist is the name of that posture. So let's come on to our sides. Reach your hand away and bring yourself all the way down onto the ground so that the blanket is underneath your head and neck. And then slide your shoulder blades towards each other. Always nice to try to find that alignment on the ground because we can get a little posture correction here on the ground if we place our skeleton in the right way.
So let's take our legs wide, do a little bit here to lubricate your hip joints, to get a little stretch in the muscles. Take your feet off the mat, palms are up towards the sky. Do a little windshield wiper side to side. Close your eyes. Feel your body when you do this and feel the back of the pelvis on the ground. Don't let your pelvis tilt off the ground. Don't let the buttock come away from the ground. You're letting your legs go side to side as far as they will without you letting your buttock come away from the ground. And then bring yourself back to center. Take your feet back to the center. Bring one knee in, bring the other knee in. Let's bend and unbend the legs one at a time. The closer your knees are to your heart, the more gentle this will be on the low back, a little less core work. And then if you do let your legs go above your pelvis, you need to turn on your stabilizing muscles of the core. It's a little more intense, pressing the belly button towards the spine. And then flex the feet so the soles of the feet go up towards the sky. Feel that all the way to the calves. Notice if your neck is trying to fly away from the ground, keep the center of the head on the ground. Keep the rib cage on the ground. And then draw your knees into your chest. Hold on to your knees. Bring your knees towards your chest, a little side to side. Bring your feet onto the floor. So we're going to do the belly twist posture. And this is the twist happens at the belly. So the rib cage stays on the ground. You can let your arm go to the side to help you. Palm can go down. The block goes between the lower leg and it goes at this position here, the middle position, the longest part of the rectangle. And if you had a blanket, try to make it be the widest part of the blanket. If you could roll it up in such a way that that could happen. We draw the knees into the chest. When we do the belly twist posture, it happens at the belly. It's the pelvis that tilts towards the side and the rib cage stays pointing up towards the sky. And then we hover and we hold this. So it can be quite a challenging posture. It is really challenging. And if you don't have that core support here, you could go into your low back and cause some discomfort. So only go to the hovering place that's appropriate for you and your ability. Take your arms to the side, put the block between the lower legs, activate your pelvic floor. So imagine you're drawing towards center and then up a strand of pearls, draw the waist in, activate the low back towards the ground and the lower ribs towards your spine. Exhale, then inhale into the place of hovering that's appropriate for you and your body. And then stay there and begin to breathe. Lengthening your pelvis away from your rib cage. Really keep that core contraction. One more breath. And then bring yourself back up to center. Bring your knees into your chest for a breath. Take a break. Let your knees go out. Exhale. And then inhale. Let your legs go to the side to the appropriate place of hover for you. Let your arm at the side that your legs are going towards, let it really push into the ground to help also with the stabilization of your torso. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself back. Take the block out, draw the knees into your chest. Absorb what was just done. Bring your feet onto the ground. Let's get a strap. Bring the right knee in towards your chest, bending the right hip, the right knee, and then take the strap, put the strap on the right foot, sliding your hands down the strap, wrap your hands around the strap, pull that leg down into the socket, so really deeply root that hip in the joint. Take the left leg straight if that's okay for you, or keep it bent. Firm up the right leg. You want straight leg here. We're going to be pulling on the pelvis. So really firm up the right leg muscles and push the right leg away from you with your muscles, and then guide it back towards the wall behind you. Opposing forces of push and pull. Push the leg away with the muscles, pull the leg towards the wall behind you. Create as much tension as you can, especially in the lower leg where it's attached to the body. Pull on your pelvis. Push the leg away and pull it towards the wall behind you. Take one more breath. Go ahead and bend the knee for a second. Take the strap in the right hand, both pieces. Strap in the right hand, slide your hand down. Take your leg straight. Keep it pretty high, right off the waist. Don't let the leg go forward as you lower down. So keep the leg up at this area here. Imagine there's a wall in front of you, and then let's lengthen the leg out to the side as far as your leg muscles will let you in terms of flexibility. Let your right elbow help to support, push into the arch part of the foot. Really root down the left side here, activate your core, heart up towards the sky. Take one more breath. And then on the exhale, bring the leg back up to center. Bend the left leg. Take the strap off. Draw the left leg in. Bend the knee, bend the hip. Unbend the leg. Put your strap on your arch. Slide your hand down. Take a nice firm grasp. Lengthening the right leg if that's appropriate for your body. Pull the strap down, really deeply root that left leg in the socket, and then firm up the left leg. Push the left leg away strongly. And then let's guide the left leg towards the wall behind you. Really push and pull. Push the leg away, pull it back. You're not just hanging out here. You're actively pushing the leg away and actively pulling towards the wall behind you. Take one more breath. And then go ahead and release. Take the strap in the left hand. Keep the leg pretty high. Take the left elbow out to the side. And then lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Left leg out to the left. Keep it pretty high. Stabilize your pelvis. Feel that stretch in the pelvis, the hips, maybe even in the torso as you help to stabilize your pelvis. Deep breaths. Take one more breath. And then bring your leg back up to center. Take the strap off to the side. Draw your knees into your chest. Rock side to side. Come all the way onto your side. Take your hand on the ground and push yourself up.
So that sequence that we just did is very center body specific, pulling on the pelvis to get the pelvic bones to remodel, lay down more bone tissue, and a lot of that belly twist put a lot of tension here in the core. A lot of the stabilizing muscles had to activate there. So important for posture, alignment, balance, for bone health, just explaining some of the specifics of all the aspects that are important that we focus on when we are focusing on our bones and beyond. All the things that matter when we're focusing on that. All right, so let's come to a standing position. Before you get up, you will not need your strap. So putting your strap off to the side, clearing your space. Part of fall prevention is making sure that there's nothing in your space. Leave the block here in case we need that. We'll use the blanket to stand up because some of you have knees that are not happy. So come on to your knees here, your shins. I don't like to weight bear on my knees, actually. Bring a foot forward, take the back toes under, take your hands on that front leg. Make sure your foot is forward enough. Don't have it too close to your body. Very hard to get up from this kind of an angle in the knee joint. Set yourself up for success. Toes are pointing forward, flip the back toes under, long spine, look straight ahead. Inhale, and then exhale forward and all the way up. Let's get your space ready. So you may need a chair for this. We're going to do a little balance. The first three postures are going to focus on balance. So I would recommend that you get a chair or a wall. So go ahead and get that right now. I think for me, I'm definitely going to need a chair. Okay, let me just do this. I was too focused on the ground, I think, a little bit. Okay. All right, perfect. Okay. So these next three postures are going to focus on balance in some way. We're going to work on dancing ankles so that we have very strong ankles to manage whatever's above them in space and even what's below. So if you step on something uneven, so let's really work on our ability to stay upright, to stay in really good balance. The first one we're going to do is the tree posture. So have your chair here if you need it. Maybe you don't need it, so just have it there or have it off to the side. Do what's safest for you and the best for you. Take your feet are forward. Have your feet be hip distance. Make sure they're not too wide. You want them to be underneath your hips, and your hips are right here. This is where your hip is. It's not here. That's not your hip joint. That's the side of the top of the femur bone, but your actual hip joint is here. It's inside. It's closer to the center than you would realize. I learned that when I was 49, when I had my hip issues. Before that, I thought this was my hips. And most people do. Most people, when you say hip distance, they stand body distance. So bring your feet so that your toes are pointing forward. That'll set your body up to be able to manage your body weight on one foot. Take your hands down alongside your body. Palms are forward. Fingertips are reaching down. Long spine. Find the stacking of your spine. 26 teacups. Saucer, teacup, like fine china that you don't want to tip over and break. So really find that alignment of the saucer and the teacup. Let's push the body weight over to one side, bend the tippy toes, knee is out to the side, and then bring the foot up in between the ankle and the knee. Push the foot into the leg into the foot, grab the floor with your foot, push away from the ground to get tall, reach the hands down, lengthen your spine, and then find something to gaze at. And then contract your core to support your body. Shoulder blades are on your back. Don't forget to smile. Take one more breath. Bring yourself back. Bring yourself out. The smile is the balance between the negative mind, especially if you're struggling and falling out of it. It's that playfulness and that self-compassion of the smile to accept what is today. Maybe today the balance is not so great, or maybe it is. So reach your fingers down. We're going to go to the other side. Stacking your vertebra, push your body weight onto the other side, onto the tippy toes. Knee is out to the side. Bring the foot up in between the ankle and the knee. Foot into the knee, or foot into the leg, not into the knee. I'm going to push it into the leg. Push your hands down. Find your gaze. Find your balance. Take one more breath. Smile. Bring your knee forward. Bring yourself out. Find your mountain, stacked alignment. And then go ahead and come out. We're going to come to the half moon Ardha Chandrasana. The half moon posture is this, where you come onto your hip joint, and then you roll yourself open with your hand in the air. So I would say that this one here, having a block, having a chair may be better for most. So get whatever you'd like. The block is going to be a little bit more challenging. And honestly, a chair is pretty challenging too when you're high up. And with the chair, one thing about the Ardha Chandrasana with the chair is that you can come into this like this with yourself here. You could do this. I find this to be honestly a little challenging as well. Or you could come in with the forearm. So you could put your forearm on the chair and bring yourself up. And maybe that gives you a little bit more stability. So you're going to choose what's appropriate for you, right? You do you, everyone else is taken. So either you're going to use the block or you're going to use the chair, whatever you're going to use. Take your foot and point your foot directly towards your chair or your block. It's also really handy to have a wall, something you could lean up against. Let's bend that standing leg. Keep your spine straight. We bend our hips and our knees, not our spine. Bend your hips and or your knees. Take your hand on the chair or on the block. Contract your core. Lift your leg up with muscular action. Lift your leg up to come right off of your body. You could keep your hand on your waist or bring your hand up towards the sky. Smile. Take one more breath. To come out, bend the standing leg. Take your hand on your waist and bring yourself out. Keep your spine nice and neutral curve. And let's go to the other side. This is a challenging posture. So if you're having a little trouble with it, I really recommend being near the wall, because even though this is, it's got a lot of components. It's got stretch, balance, and strength. And sometimes the flexibility or the strength doesn't exist in the side of your hip joint this way because you're not used to it. And then to challenge it with balance is a challenge. So coming up against a wall where you could develop the strength, putting a lot of bone building stimulation from the side and the hip joint. It's a really, really strong posture. So if you are struggling with it, know that I am struggling too, that it is a challenge, yet it is one of my favorites. So you're coming with your legs. So come with your legs, your foot to face whatever it is you're using, a chair or a block. The bend is in the hip and the knee, not in the spine. Push your hand into the ground, contract your core, lifting your leg up with muscular action, contracting your core. bringing your arm into the sky to balance on the side of your hip. Chest is forward. Deep breaths. Use your breath here. Your smile is acceptance. Your breath is power. Take one more breath. To come out, you bend the standing leg, dismount gracefully, bending the hip, bending the knee, keeping the head active and lifted. Bring yourself all the way up and out. Into a place of acceptance of where you are today in this posture. Each day is different. So let's prepare for the next posture. Bring the back of your chair towards you. The next posture we're going to come into is one that I do often. And this was actually put into the 3rd series of postures Dr. Fishman did. And when they created this series, it was for the strong practitioners, those who have a pretty strong practice and wanted even more challenge. And so this one is a challenge. And so I implore you to be near a wall or to have a chair, even if you think you have strong balance. It's the one that people have probably the most difficulty with when I'm with them in person. It's called dancer. The thing about dancer is that you have hip joints and heart. You want to try to keep your hips and your heart in the same place. We're going to balance on our hip and we're going to load it up to the front. So we're going to be loading our hip up, then creating our limbs in different parts of space. So your body has to manage a lot here. So the dancer posture, I'll teach you how to come in 1 second. I want you to see the posture. This is the posture that we're going for, is dancer, some variation. And maybe your dancer may be that you're holding onto your pants because you don't quite have all that range of motion. Maybe you have the chair here and you're loading up forward into the chair. Or maybe you are able to take your hand off. So you're going to find your variation of your dancer for now. The dancer today, and we're working to get back to our dancing self at age 20 or 18. So we're going to load up the joints, creating some stimulation in the top of the leg bone here and fortifying balance. So let your foot touch the chair if you're going to use the chair. Then bend the knee, try to get the heel to come so that you can reach down without bending your spine to grab the foot or the socks or the pants, whatever it is you can get. And then you push your leg into your hand. That's how you get the leg to go back. So you don't lift the leg itself. You push the leg into the hand. Take your front hand forward, and then let's inhale into the dancer. Try not to let your hips splay open. So getting higher with open hips. Take one more breath. And then slowly, slowly bring yourself out. Let's go to the other side. Contributing to bone building. That's the focus. Bone building, muscular building, strength building, in whatever amount you can do. Toes pointing forward. You're going to bend the standing leg to come up towards the tushy. Reach back and hold onto the leg or the pants or the socks or whatever. Take your hand on the chair in front of you. Then you're going to push your hand, let your foot into your hand to bring the back leg back up. And then you're going to bring your hand off or keep it there. Tilt your body forward, load up that standing leg with a little bit of a forward body position. Try to let your hips point down towards the ground. Deep breaths down to the foot you're standing on. And don't forget to smile.
Take one more breath. Dismount gracefully. Find the mountain Tadasana. Toes are pointing forward, hands are down alongside your body. Push your feet into the ground, stack your teacups. Tailbones pointing down towards the ground. Pubis bone is actively lifting up towards low ribs. Imagine your tube of toothpaste. Squeeze the toothpaste up underneath the ribs. Lift your clavicle bones. Shoulder blades are in the back of your body. Chin is parallel towards the ground. If you can close your eyes, try that. Take one more breath. Go ahead and open your eyes. So let's get rid of any stress that was created during the practice today. We're gonna grab, hold with our inhale. And when it's time to exhale, we're gonna whoosh, WHOOSH, that kind of sound. Really extend the exhalation. Let this release take place. Let's inhale to gather, hold, and exhale to release. Inhale, gather, and exhale. Last one, we're gonna send it all the way up there. Inhale, hold, and exhale to release. Bring your hands to your heart. Press your hands to your heart to your hands. So we're going to come down into the ground for the Shavasana, the final rest. Gather your props, whatever you'd like, and then let's come down onto the ground. So bring yourself down. Draw your knees into your chest. Rocking side to side, massage your low back. Notice how your body feels. Let your legs go in the air. Shake, shake, shake. Coming into Shavasana, fully extend your legs. Let your feet flop to the sides, palms flop up. Stay connected to your breath. Stay here. Don't leave. Don't go to yesterday. Don't go to tomorrow. Don't go to after this. Stay here. Be in the moment. Close your mouth and follow your breath. Gently begin to deepen your breath. Bring your awareness to your bones, to your body. Notice how it feels. Feel the heaviness of your body on the ground, the heaviness of your bones. Sturdy, strong, dense. Begin to wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Bending your knees one at a time, drawing them in towards your chest, rocking side to side. Come onto your side. Take your hand on the ground. You're going to push yourself up to seated. Bring your hands together at your heart. Press your heart to your hands to your heart. You have control over your bones, how they age, how healthy they are, how strong they are, and how dense they are. It's our daily habits that accumulate to build our bones, and sometimes the habits can have the opposite effect. So learning positive bone building habits. Today, you implemented many. Adding to your bone bank. So when we do our vibrational sound, let that sink in, let it seep in, all that you did today for your bones. Whatever that is. Let's take a big exhale. Inhale. Namaste. Thank you. All right. How are you feeling? We check in
You're welcome, Donna. Oh, was I off? Did anybody else lose me? Tanya, hello. Atlanta, hello. Was I there the whole time? I mean, I'm here the whole time, but was I there the whole time? You're welcome, Carolyn. And I was just thinking about how last week I got kicked off, and I'm like, yes, this week we're here. So it lost and came back. Like, how long was I lost? Such a bummer. I'm really got to figure this out. If it's my thing, I don't know. Okay. All right. Well, hopefully you're all pretty good. So if you see me and I'm frozen, you're like, oh, I know we're doing dancer. Oh, I know we're doing Ardha Chandrasana. Oh, that's tree. So hopefully that can happen. A few minutes. Okay. Well, as long as we got all the other stuff, I mean, we're here for an hour and 16 minutes. So we'll take a couple of not being fully connected and we'll take all the others being connected, right? All right. Well, thank you so much, ladies. Susan, I hope it gets a little cooler for you. Was it Susan that was hot? Yeah. Sorry, in Arizona. I hate heat. Gosh, I hate heat. Yes. I'm so thankful. I don't know what my life would be like without yoga. It's been a long time for me. I mean, I started studying meditation at the Deepak Chopra Center. I don't even remember what year that was, but I really think that was about 18 or 19 years ago. That's when I first learned about meditation. I studied at the Deepak Chopra Center and it was so over my head. It was so over my head, everything that's being said. They're like, you got to go to the gaps, the space between the gaps. I would sit there, I would try. I came home, my kids are all around me screaming, going crazy. My husband's like, what? You're leaving to go do what? And I was just trying. And so today, some of the guidance, Susan, because you guided me towards this. Okay, perfect. So it's only for a little while. Susan, so you asked that question. So when you focus here, and it's really kind of here and a little bit above, and it's in the center, you kind of turn everything inward. And that's a really great focal point that a lot of people use for meditation and to focus the mental energy, is to have something to focus on. So that was another little tool there. Great, Stevie. All right, well, a minute, we'll take a minute, right? Or a little less than a minute. We got all the other minutes. All right, ladies, have a beautiful day. Steve might be out there. Whenever I say this, ladies, have a great day. He emails me after to say I was there. So Steve, crazy yogi that you are, if you're there, hello. You're welcome, Carol. Great. Well, I love that. I love that you learned some stuff today. So perfect. I'm sharing with you guys what it is that I find to be so amazing and beneficial for me. And so that's it. That's what I'm doing. All right. Feeling great. Good, Lynn. All right, ladies. Thank you so much. And Steve, have a beautiful day.